All right, get excited, people, because you guys are in for a treat today. I just got done debugging. I hope it's debugged completely. A brand new tool that I've developed for Enterprise DNA. That tool is called Conductor. And this is a first look at Conductor. So if you are one of the first people viewing this video, then the only people that have seen this are, besides Brian Julius and myself, or anyone that watched this video before you. This is literally no one's seen this thing yet. All right, so Conductor, what is it? Well, Conductor is an external tool for managing your external tools. Now, maybe that seems a bit meta, but the idea for this actually came out of an Enterprise DNA subscriber had asked the question, hey, when I install Enterprise DNA Power Tools, can I pick and choose which tools get installed? The current answer to that is no. Although that's on the backlog. Once I move to a Wix installer, then I'll solve that problem. Because unlike the MSHGQM tool set, which all each get installed individually, when you install the Enterprise DNA Power Tools, it installs all of them all at one time. So Conductor is now the latest in that, and we're going to need that functionality in that Wix installer to be able to pick and choose because we have a ton of external tools planned. All right, so Conductor. Again, you can get this. It'll be available in the next release of the Enterprise DNA Power Tools. I'll have a link in my description of this video. It's an affiliate link where you can get save some money on some Enterprise DNA products. So you can, if you're a subscriber or you want to sign up and subscribe, you can get access to it. So, all right, here we go. Let's give you a little bit of background before I know I'm teasing you guys, but let's give you a quick background about how external tools work. So the way external tools work is there's a bunch of files sitting in this directory, which is your program files x86, common files, Microsoft Shared, Power BI Desktop, external tools. And what is in here is a bunch of .pbitool.json files, okay? And these JSON files are basically kind of like a stub that sort of point Power BI to the external tool. So for example, if I open up DAX Studio, the stub file for this, it's version 1.0. The name is DAX Studio. That's what appears here. The tooltip, that's the description. That's what appears for the tooltip. Here's the path to where it's installed. Here's the parameters that get passed along to it. And then here's the icon data, base64 encoded icon data, which is, DAX Studio's nice logo that they have. All right, so that's in a nutshell how that works. Now, the order of the tools in your toolbar are based upon the alphanumeric sorting order. So like ALM toolkit will appear before Bravo because A becomes before B, et cetera, et cetera. So that in a nutshell is how external tools work. So let's get to the cool part, right? And I've set this up like it's my first time kind of running Conductor Pro. So if I go here and launch it, you're going to come to a screen sort of like this. Now, it may prompt you for administrative access. Now, it's only going to do this once, but the reason why it does that is because it needs write access to this external tools folder. And by default, just plain old users of a computer do not have write access to this folder. So if you want to, Conductor can take care of it for you, right? It'll ask for elevated permissions. It'll then go and set the permissions on the folder and then never ask for those permissions again. Now, if you don't trust me for some reason, people have trust issues, that's fine. You don't have to give Conductor access, but you will have to provide write access to the folder yourself manually. And the way you can do that is you can right click the external tools folder. Once you navigate to it, go to properties and go to security and then edit, and then pick your users and then give yourself full access to this directory, including the all important write access. Right, so if you can do it, so if you do that manually, then when Conductor launches, it'll check to see that you have write access and it won't ask for administrative privileges. So for all of you with trust issues, there you go. You can do it yourself. All right, so the first thing you're going to do once you get to this screen is you're going to want to set up your backup directory. So what your backup directory is doing is it's going to copy all of those JSON files into a backup directory that then is under the control of Conductor. So I have a backup directory created for this already. I think I put it, I was going to use something like, and you can create your brand new folder or do whatever. I just have one here in my temp directory called external tools backup. So I say, okay. And now what you're seeing here are all those external tools that are in your toolbar, the same ones. But where these are coming from is your backup directory. So what it did was it copied all those JSON files into the backup directory, and then it read in all the information from those files, and that's what it's displaying all of these icons. Oh, I want to get rid of that because it's for a demo that we're going to do here. All right, so these external tools, again, are coming from the backup directory. So, and this is an infinite. This is in a scroll viewer. So if Conductor ends up having several dozen, hundreds of tools, you could just infinitely scroll and see all of those external tools. So it's keeping track of them in the external tools backup directory, and then allowing you to either put them in or out of your toolbar. But more importantly, if you noticed this connection string, you're like, well, Greg, if this is just connecting to JSON, just swapping JSON files around in file directories, why do you need to connect to the Power BI dataset? Well, the reason is because this really is an infinite toolbar. So if I want to launch DAX Studio right from Conductor Pro, then I can just click on that and it launches DAX Studio, and it's going to connect to the dataset that I'm connected to. As you can see, there we go. There it is. So it really is an infinite toolbar, and this is why I can tell you that, Conductor really is the only external tool that you need in your toolbar, because you could have everything else be in your backup directory, so that this is, basically you don't only have Conductor, you launch Conductor and you have access to all your external tools. As you add tools, they'll be reflected in the backup directory and under the control of Conductor, and allow you to orchestrate them, in and out of your toolbar. So that's pretty cool, right? An infinite external toolbar. It's not constrained by anything at all. All right, so that's pretty cool. Now let's go ahead and I'll show you the adding of of external tools if you want to add your own, right? So if you click on add, you'll see all this information here is the same as what's in those JSON files, right? So if I wanted to add a link to a Power BI community site, let's say Power BI community, and say launch Power BI community site. And I definitely want it to open up Edge, but again, you can set this if you want to open up Word. You want to create a Word launcher from Power BI or whatever you want to create. You can set it to this to any executable file. Now, since this is a web page launch, I can say community.powerbi.com. Obviously, if it's an external tool, you'd be using like %server, % database. I've got some suggestions over here. These last two, so it's going to use either or. If your icon data is set, so you've already got base 64 encoded data, it's going to use that, even if this is set. If you want to use a specific image, right, then you can clear this, and I can go out and I can set this, and we're going to use that Pickle Rick icon. So now, say open. All right, so I hit add here, successfully added tool, close, and there's my Power BI community site that I can launch. And the next time that I launch Power BI and restart it, the Pickle Rick Power BI community icon will be in the toolbar. All right, so that is that. Now, if you want to edit it, right, once you've created it, you can right-click it, say edit, and bring that screen back up, and that'll edit the tool. If you make changes, we're not going to make any changes today. If you want to get completely rid of it, you can say remove. It says it's going to remove it from your toolbar and backup directory. So basically that JSON file is gone at that point. So we're not going to do that because we like Pickle Rick. So we're going to say no here. But if you want to remove them, then you can, right? Now I mentioned orchestrating getting your tools in and out of your toolbar. So if you want to do that, for example, I can click on the more icon here, and you'll see these checkboxes and my orders, my order numbers. So if I wanted to say, like in this case, Power BI tips is not in my toolbar or in my toolbar, I can click it or unclick it and say update my toolbar. It says it's been updated. And obviously you'd have to relaunch Power BI in order to get it to show that it's not in your toolbar, but we can prove that by going to the external tools directory. As you can see, the 020 Power BI tips is not in my external tools, but it is in my backup directory, right? So the next time I launch Power BI, it would launch it basically. And you can also see there's my Power BI community.pbi.tool.json, and it's also in my external toolbar, so it'll show up in my toolbar the next time I launch Power BI Desktop. Now I can also reorder these. So let's say that I want to say move the order between these two and flip the order. So metadata translator was 6, text beautifier was 7. I want to flip that order. So now I can say update order. It says it's been updated. Now DAX beautifier 6, metadata translator 7, right? And if I look in my external tools directory, here's what's happened. So I've gone and I've prefixed these file names with _x_, and then a 4-digit code, and then _x_. So in theory, right, this will work as long as we don't go past about 10,000 external Power BI tools. And when we get there, I'll just add an extra digit into the ordering, right? But this now allows you to have your own custom order for these tools. It's not relying upon the actual original file name, right? So now maybe there's a possible issue with this, although it's very minor. So let's say, because these names are no longer what the author of the external tool is expecting. So if you, for example, installed a new version of Bravo, it's going to leave this file and it's going to add in a bravo.pbitool.json file. Not a big deal. I mean, you can go in here and again, you can remove tools or whatever you want to, as far as that goes, or edit them and change them around. But if you're concerned about it, there is a remove order button. So if I hit remove order, now it says that they've been removed. And if I go back to my directory, you can see they're back to the original file names. So maybe if you want to, you can remove your custom ordering, install the new tool, and then reimpose your custom ordering if you want. All right, so I showed you the edit, the remove, the add, how you can update your toolbar, how you can update your order. This copy button over here, you should never really need it. I have it there as a kind of a safety measure, and as a, kind of this was early on how I was doing, getting things from my external tools back into my backup directory. But it's still there if you want to manually, and all it does is just copies the JSON files from here to here, right? And it'll overwrite the JSON files as defined in the backup directory. But Conductor's pretty much doing that, whenever you're doing like an interaction, like an add, or you're removing the order or updating the order, it's doing all of that anyway, and keeping in things basically flow from your external tools to your external tools backup. So I think that is pretty much everything. I'm really interested to hear from you guys in terms of what you think about this tool. And do you want a free version of this tool? And then what would be cool in the free version? Like, it has to be an infinite toolbar, I'm assuming, right? Would you want the ability to add tools? Would you want the ability to remove tools? Would you want the ability to reorder or take tools in and out of your toolbar? You guys tell me. Just really interested in feedback on this tool. I'm excited to get this one out there. It's been a tricky debugging process with this thing. There's a lot of stuff you gotta worry about when you're messing around with files and in and outs and all of that fun stuff. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys like this first look. Again, I have the affiliate link in the description of this video, so use that if you want to save some money on Enterprise DNA. And see you guys next time.